This essay example, as well as thousands of others, is available in text format on our website for free and without registration. Simply Google Ivy Panda Free Essays.
Introduction. The period after World War II and the transition to the Cold War affected American society's culture in many ways. The lives of Americans became filled with new concerns, experiences, and beliefs. The TV show Leave It to Beaver is an excellent example of the everyday activities of a traditional American family living in the late 1950s. The character's role in the family and society as a whole show is a structure that came with the rise of emphasis on such concepts as democracy, capitalism, and consumerism. The effects of the post-war focus on prosperity and traditionalism can be seen in how characters speak and act. Main body. The end of such a major war brought the need to revive the country's economy and morale. The push towards portraying Christianity as an undividable part of the Western world mentioned by politicians created a system of rigid roles for every American. For instance, a woman's role was firmly associated with staying at home and caring for her husband and children. In the first episode of Leave It to Beaver, Beaver gets spelled. The mother is seen at home in almost every scene. She leaves the house once to look for her son, who skipped school. However, even at that point, she is accompanied by her husband. It can be assumed that she is a housewife whose main role is passively supporting her family. Moreover, it appears as though she has no authority in the family and is not seen pursuing a career or speaking about serious topics. This character description is reminiscent of the kitchen debates that surrounded women in the late 1950s. Women were lowered to the status of housewives, only with a handful of professions to be considered feminine, teachers, for example. The division between communism and capitalism also found its way into the show. While it harbors a completely apolitical tone, the concepts associated with democracy, such as prosperity, are apparent in the family's life. The main character's family has a large house. The father has a job that allows him to support his wife and 2 children. They are a middle-class household. Moreover, all families seen in the TV show have a similar financial situation. They are well-dressed, and men have white-collar jobs as they wear suits in most scenes. Notably, other women walking outside are accompanied by their husbands as well. Furthermore, the protagonist's school and neighborhood appear to be exclusively white. There are no black people in this episode of the TV show. During this time, the civil rights movement was combating racism and segregation that occurred in many nation-states. Here, this effort is clearly ignored, and the show does not feature any prominent black characters as a part of society. Racism and the media's lack of acknowledgement are the problems of the era. Conclusion. The lives of American families changed significantly during the Cold War period. The role of women was reduced to housewives or caretakers, which can be clearly seen in the examples of Beaver's mother and teacher. Their soft attitude and the lack of authority were a pitfall of the change that created an unequal society. While the portrayal of a happy family does not indicate that somebody in it may disagree with the taken position, the rigid traditionalism of the new American family affected women the most, lowering their status in relation to men. Moreover, while the United States had an economic advantage and resources to support the nation and help others, some people's belief in the absolute correctness of Western Christianity made the country's philosophy centered on prosperity. Communism is not mentioned directly but is opposed by the all-white middle-class prosperous family living, a staple of the capitalist society. This essay on the U.S. in the 1950s and Leave It to Beaver TV show was written and submitted by a student just like you. The Ivy Panda Samples database hosts thousands of works similar to this one on various subjects. Visit ivypanda.com to find what you are looking for, free of charge.